It's Corso and Catone. Brought to you by Corso Law Group, Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm. Now for the real deal New England feel, Corso and Catone.
Welcome into Corso and Catone, the real deal New England feel. I'm Corso. Catone's right there. Joe's with us in the booth, and you are watching us on YouTube. Anyway, make sure when you're on YouTube, subscribe, give us that like, that thumbs up. That's what we're looking for. And make sure you comment. Put some comments in on YouTube. We'll put them up in the show here. And check out our short reels and our shorts, right? Those are pretty popular, Mark. Thousands
They are
of people
popular. They're
watching
very
and
popular.
listening to those. They can only take you in spurts. This is the thing.
Oh, you know what, Joe? Please.
But if you're listening to us, you're doing it on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast, anywhere you podcast, and of course, 790 The Score. Hey, got a good one today. Going to talk B's and C's. We're going to talk Celtics Magic. Now, listen, we're recording on Wednesday because we have to get prepared for the draft, Joe, don't we?
Yep, for sure.
What do we call fanalists?
You guys, fanalists, the world's
Fanalists.
fanniest fanalists.
So we got to be prepared. So Celtics are playing right now as we speak in game 2 with no Jayson Tatum. So we'll talk about that. And we're going to go Yankees versus Red Sox and look at the putrid batting averages of the Boston Red Sox and so on. And we're going to hear from Mark and Catone's comments. So stick around for that. And in Pat's preview, we're going to talk a little bit about what we've been hearing all week long about this 4th pick for the Patriots. It will have already happened when you're seeing the show, so you could see if some of our analysis is right. Hi, guys.
Hey.
Listen, this is draft week. We're excited taping the show because we live for this week. This is the week we live for this week, the draft.
I love it.
Well, tell the fans the truth. If they don't pick who they need to pick in round 4,
Mark,
we might not have a show next week.
Mark said to me on the phone, he said, if Egbuka,
The wide receiver from
the
Ohio
wide receiver
State.
out of Ohio State, if he's there at 38 and we pass on him, he's done with the draft. He's not watching 1 minute more of the draft.
Nope. TV turns off. I pour myself a pitcher of bourbon. I make a big old-fashioned and I'm going to make a old-fashioned pitcher with bourbon, and that's it. I'll go nighty-night. I'm done. And I'll be drinking it the rest of the weekend.
That's it. So let's hope that doesn't happen, But so excellent. So we're ready to go. I think we're ready for the draft. But before that, we need to talk a little bit of B's and C's and talk about the Celtics and Magic. We're going to do it in B's and C's. We're going to do it now.
Hit it! The Celtics are the world champions, and they have shown the world how great a ball club they really are. Scream shot,
Okay, Mark. So the big news, obviously, Celtics win game 1. They're playing game 2 right now for us. By the time this show's going, it will have been 3 games in. They're leading at the half right now, 50-47. No Jayson Tatum. So he gets hurt in game 1, takes a flagrant foul, which to me, Al Horford thought it was dirty as hell. It's debatable to me. I don't think it was that bad.
It's debatable.
I don't know that it was a flagrant. But anyway, he goes down. It's a wrist injury. But what's interesting, Mark, is what took place in that moment with Joe Mazzulla, Jayson Tatum. This is what they had to say after the game.
Jayson, first of all, how's the wrist? What happened there on that play?
It's all right. I just fell on it, landed on it. No, I just landed on it, was throbbing for a second. Kind of went away.
Jayson, did you get an x-ray on that? What was the result of that?
Yeah, it's clean. It's good.
How did Jayson get through practice today? Was there any lingering concern with the wrist?
Yeah, he was able to do some stuff. He was sore after the game. He's gotten a little bit better today. He was able to go through some on-court work and, we'll go from there.
Be good to go tomorrow?
Day to day.
And it looked like in that moment, you kind of on camera there, telling him to get up, what message were you trying to kind of convey there? It was kind of it looked like Al was kind of upset about the foul as well there. What was kind of going on in that moment or on the sideline?
Love. But why was it so important to you in that moment that Jayson get up and that looked like you didn't want the medical staff to go help him out? Like, why was it so important to you in that moment?
Yeah, again, I think at the end of the day, I'm grateful for the relationship that I have with the guys. I'm grateful for the relationship that I have with him, and you love guys in different ways, but everything's built on love. Everything's built on the relationship that we have. Their self-expression, they allow me to be who I am, and they trust. We have a trust for each other, but it all starts with love. And so in that moment, it looks different in different moments, but I appreciate who he is as a competitor and our team in that moment, but it all starts with that.
What the hell kind of an answer was that?
A lot of love going on
What
here.
are they talking
Got
about?
A lot of love happening between
Joe,
us.
what, Joe? Could you make sense out of that, Joe?
I have no idea what they're talking about.
Wish somebody loved me the way Mazzulla loves Tatum, and his guys. You know what I mean? Mark certainly doesn't. Anyway,
Oh,
so, okay, let's unwrap this.
wow.
Okay, first of all, it's typical Celtic stuff. I mean, it's fine, it's good, it's fine, it's good. He's out. So he's out in game 2.
Yep.
Now, let's talk about that. Missing him. Is this because they're calling it a bone bruise? Okay, in the wrist, same wrist that he hurt a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah,
During
same
that
wrist.
finals. Is this something that's precautionary in your opinion, or is this this is a problem?
I
now?
think it's precautionary, Chris. I think it's probably sore, right? Probably tender, a little sore. I mean, maybe it's still a little bit swollen. I don't know. It's probably something where you could probably wrap it and play, right? Take a couple of ibuprofens and get on the court. But I don't think they need them.
Yeah.
This game, they're probably like, listen, rest. We go up 2-0. We're all right. We're at, you know what I mean? And predicted they would lose game 2. You said they'll lose game 2 and they'll win this in 5. Well, if they lose tonight, your prediction probably ends up being correct. But
Well, I said it because I thought they would that they would have a bad shooting 3-point night.
exactly. But I do think, Chris, that I think it's just precautionary. I listen. They've already got Brown with a tender knee. You never know what's going to happen with Porzingis. There's no reason to risk him falling on that wrist again tonight. You know what? Rest it, ice it. You had a few days off leading up to today's game. You get a couple of more off before game 3, and he should be ready to roll for game 3 is what I'm thinking.
Well, we'll see. When you're listening to this, you'll know if he played in game 3 or not.
Because Mazzulla says, he's day to day. First you said he was good,
Yeah.
and then you said, well, he's day to day.
Well, that's Celtic stuff. I mean, they always downplay the injuries. Talking about Mazzulla. Okay. What do you make? First of all, if you didn't see it, what happened was what they were talking about and the reporters were discussing was when he went down and he was riling around in pain, rolling all over the ground.
The trainer was going to run out on the court.
Yeah, sort of like he did in Sacramento, right?
Yep.
Same kind of thing. And the trainer was about to go on the court, and you see Mazzulla say, wait a minute, just holds him there for a minute. Don't go out there. And then he screams down to the end of the court, get up. Get up, like Mickey in Rocky. Get up, Rock. Right?
What is wrong with you?
So, what do you think of that? I mean, a lot's been made all over the place on this, back and forth. Is that a cool thing to do? Is it all right thing to do? I mean, what your superstars on the ground, writhing in pain, the trainer doesn't come out.
Your superstars on the ground, all the money you're paying him, you both run out on the court, you and the trainer, and you point your finger at Caldwell Pope and call him a a-hole and defend your play. No, and you defend your player.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, that's
get
what
on
Hoffman
the court.
was doing, yeah.
Yeah, get on the court and check. Well, at least if you don't want to entice the other team, at least go check on your player. I mean, I don't quite know what that reaction was, Chris.
That was love.
Wonder,
that was love.
So what's he trying to say? You got to treat Tatum with tough love? Is that what he's getting at? Because, if that's the case, I could picture Tatum being pissed off at him for that, the way he reacted, maybe.
Well, I have mixed feelings on this because the optics of it, I loved it. Like, I loved it. I'm like, you know what? This is what we are, Now, the optics of get up. Now, the practical part of this, the smart part of it is you don't know if it's a broken wrist. You don't know if the bone's sticking out of it when you're looking at it from down where you are, and to not let the trainer go out there.
Yeah.
Now, I don't have a problem with you yelling at him to get up, but you got to let the trainer go down there. But I will say this. Nobody probably knows that player better than Mazzulla, okay? That relationship.
That's true.
Do you think this is what I thought immediately? He doesn't like the tough play. He doesn't like the physical play, Tatum. Doesn't like it. Not what he enjoys. And the more he does this, the more he rolls, the more he LeBron James things, okay? He hasn't earned that street cred yet. The more they're going to play physical with him. So do you think that Mazzulla in Sacramento situation a month ago, this situation where he's saying, look, you got to get up. You got to get up. Whether you're hurt, come to the bench, whatever, but you got to get up. You cannot continue to roll around on the ground with these guys watching you do that. And now they're sitting there saying, okay, we know how to get to this guy.
Yeah, he's soft. Yeah, he's soft. Right.
And I don't think he is. I mean, he plays with a lot of injuries.
I don't think he's soft.
But the problem, Mark, is the overall image of him in the league, and why he's not the face of the league is because of that timid way he behaves and that lack of alpha dog kind of nonsense that I was wrong about. I mean, I was dead wrong when I said about Tatum, and I take it back. The he is a dog, but he's a dog in his own way. Do you think there's some merit to that with what Mazzulla is trying to do here? To protect him by making him do that?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a great take on this, Chris, and a great analysis of it. Yeah. I think he is doing a little of that. If you remember back, Chris, remember when Lambert clotheslines Bird and almost takes his head off?
Yeah,
I do. Bird gets up and he wants to punch him in the face. He's going nuts. Bird didn't sit there holding his back. Bird couldn't even walk, for crying out loud. He ain't laying on the floor holding his back.
No.
Bird got up and wanted to fight him.
Right.
That's, I think maybe you're right in the fact that Mazzulla probably wanted Tatum to get off the ground and go at him, right? Yeah. Show that you're a dog.
So the actual love is, I love you enough to do that because I know they're going to come after you now. And for me to protect you, I got to protect you for yourself first.
Yeah. Yep.
So I don't have a problem with it. These guys know each other well. Tatum's mother wanted to ask Tatum if she wanted her to go into the Orlando locker room when he was coming up the tunnel after the game to go yell at them, I guess. Good mom, Yeah. Anyway, so now, do they really need him for the rest of the series? I don't think they do.
I don't think they do. If they wanted to shelf him and say, hey, you're not playing until next series, I don't think they need him to win this series. I think they'll win without him. But I do think, Chris, I bet you he's back for game 3. You got to realize Tatum is not a guy who participates in this. I got a rest game. I need a rest game. He's not one of those guys that likes to participate in that. Tatum, if you left it up to Tatum, he'll play all 82 games.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's actually out tonight, he may be sore, Chris. It may still be a little bit swollen because he's the guy. He's a guy, Chris. Yeah, I know maybe he's not a dog and he doesn't show that I'm going to fight you mentality, but he definitely likes to be on the court playing every game. He's not one of these guys that needs one of those guys. I got to rest tonight. I need a game off. He's not one of those guys.
No, but when you get into the playoffs, now it's time to be strategic and smart about things.
It is, but
if you don't need him.
But if he's sitting and he's like 80%, it probably took a lot of convincing to tell him, no, we want you to be 100%. You're not going to play tonight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. And so looking at this series, Derek White again is showing up. Derek White shows up. And how about our 6th man of the year?
Oh, here we go.
The Peyton Pritchard. Congratulations, Pritchard. My favorite player on the Celtics by far.
I know he
for what, 3 years now?
Yep, I know. You love Pritchard.
Well-deserved, Mark.
Well, no, it's well-deserved. I give you a lot of grief over Pritchard, but no, it's well-deserved. Guys had a great season, Chris. Well-deserved. Listen, that's why if they stay healthy, Chris, I don't know how you can beat this team. They got too many guys, too many weapons.
Yeah, come at you from so many different ways.
If White plays the way he played in game 1, how are you beating this team?
Well, and the other thing, too, and I said it coming into this series in the playoffs, it's the defense that's going to carry this. And you saw Drew Holiday. I started to get a little irritated in the first quarter at him. I was texting you. But you see the defense pick up. You see Jaylen Brown's defense pick up. You see Pritchard's. They're attacking people up high, and picking them up off the dribble. And just that was how they won the championship last year. So if they bring that kind of heat and get those transition baskets off turnovers, things, you're right. I don't see who we could be. But these guys that are playing their roles, Derek White, Drew Holiday, Peyton Pritchard, they let a lot off because Tatum didn't have a huge night. He had his typical playoff. 12 rebounds.
He scored late, Chris. He scored late when it didn't mean anything. The game was already decided. He scores like 8 points late, right? A typical Tatum game, playoff game, right?
Yeah. So
the stat line looks better than he actually played.
Than he actually did it. Yeah. But you have to understand what's coming at him too every game. I mean, they're coming, they're doubling, they're focused on him, and other guys are stepping up. So they're going to need more of that, Mark.
Your buddy lost. It's tied 1-1 right now. I think they're going to play game 3. This would have already aired when they play game 3. But your buddy Doncic out in L.A. Oh, he's playing well, but they're 1-1. They're going to be in a dogfight out there, Chris. That series with Minnesota is going to be a dogfight.
He can't last 7 games without oxygen. That guy. They're going to have him on the sideline with the oxygen on him because he's so friggin' out of shape. So we'll see what happens. Pay attention here. We'll keep tracking this series. But B's and C's was presented by the Patch Nation Sundays, 8 a.m. Eastern. Hey, tune in tomorrow. We're going to have a mock draft. Mark and I are going to pick the Patriots picks. So make sure you're tuning into that. Talk a little bit more about the draft and what it was. But when we come back, going to go a little bit of Yankees versus Red Sox. No flipping.
Sundays are for football, and here in New England, that means it's the Pats Nation with Corso and Catone. Sundays, 8 to 9 a.m.
Back in with more Corso and Catone, the real deal New England feel. All right, Mark, you gotta talk a little bit Yankees and Red Sox. Up and down it goes. Joe? Okay, Mark. So season's trudging along. We're in April. We got a few weeks in now, and let's start with the Yankees. Okay. And I got the batting averages here for what's happening. They're leading. Let's see. Judge is 384. He's pretty much on everything. He's the leader of this team in every category. 384, the home run 7.
No, he's batting 415, Chris.
Well, okay, this was
he's batting 415.
Well, 7 home runs, right? 8 home runs.
7 home runs as of today. He's batting 415. Goldschmidt is batting 383 as of today. As of the taping of the show, as of Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
But other than those guys, Chris, they're struggling. The bottom half of that order, Chris, Anthony Volpe, 198. Corey Bellinger, 177. Chisholm, 165.
Yeah.
The catcher, Wells, 181. Dominguez, 234. The third baseman, Cabrera, 262.
Rice is batting 288, but he only got 66 at bat. So he's not a full-time guy.
He is, he is. But Chris, after the first 3-4 guys, they're not hitting right now.
Well, Grisham's batting what? I have it at 320.
He's batting 160. He's batting 165.
What am I looking at over here? What the hell did I print out?
What did you print out, kid?
I'm looking at the wrong. That's fine. Well, I'm looking at the average over here. Well, I guess I'm wrong. All right, well, go ahead.
Shit, Green, you lost your mind. You don't know what you're looking at over there.
Anyway, well, you're handling the Yankees, so that's fine. But yeah, Mark, what's the story? My point is, there's only a few guys, like you're saying.
There's only a few guys. They're batting, as a team. Their batting average is not good, but they're 15-10 as of today. They're 15-10. They're a couple of games up. They got a good outing out of Rodon today against Cleveland. He threw 7 innings. You always talk about, he only threw 90 pitches, but he threw 90 pitches. He had 8 Ks. The closer is a problem. Devin Williams, a guy they got from Milwaukee, Chris, who had a good season last year. He gives up 4 runs last Saturday the day before Easter to Tampa. He blows the save, and then they lose the game in extra innings. Weaver is back. I think they put him back in as closer now. Weaver closed today.
Yeah.
Weaver's going to be a closer until Williams can figure it out, because let Williams be the setup man for a while. Maybe, there's no pressure on him. He can't close. Every time they bring him in, it's life and death. No matter how many runs you're in the lead by, it's life and death with this kid, Devin Williams.
Well, this is what we talked about. I mean, you talked about this, was it last week before? You said, look, we got to, they got to switch roles. It's got to be a Rivera wetland situation, where until this kid's ready, I don't know if it's upstairs or what is happening, but
I don't know.
Weaver's got ice. I mean, I love Weaver in that role.
Yeah, Weaver's got ice in his
keep him there all season then.
This kid, Devin Williams, Chris, it doesn't seem like he's gotten over that home run he gave to Alonso in the 10th inning of that playoff game. They had the game won, and he gives up a 3-run homer to Alonso. I think it was game 4. They would have went game 5. I forget what game it was, but they had the game won, and he gives up the 3-1 blast. But I don't think the kid mentally has gotten over that. So we'll see. Now, but the batting order, Chris, if they don't start hitting the bottom half of that order, they have a problem. You're not going to survive with only your top 4 or 5 guys hitting, Chris. You're not going to survive that way.
Yeah. No.
I mean, hopefully they get Stanton back. When that'll be, who the heck knows? There's not even any talk to him. It's like he's in witness protection. Nobody even mentions his name.
I'm wondering. I mean, it's really too early to talk about who to go out and get. But I'm looking at situations like this, and I'm thinking. So you're making moves at the break. Let's just say, okay. Is it just starting pitching at that point, or are you looking at a third base situation? Are you looking at
Well,
you're okay with the bullpen?
Unless you have some young guys that could possibly come up and help you, you're probably going to need a pitcher, Chris. You're probably going to need a pitcher. Everybody keeps mentioning the kid from the Marlins, Sandy Alcantara, is going to be the premium guy at the trade deadline. Everyone's going to be after, but that'll cost you prospects, some good prospects. They ain't giving him up for nothing. I don't think you need to do that. I think you bite the bullet. Maybe you get a veteran that you can get for not giving up too much for. I wouldn't give up a lot of prospects for Alcantara. All right. Yeah, well, you know what? He's young. Maybe you do. Maybe you give up a couple of prospects. Alcantara is young, the pitcher for the Marlins. But you're right, Chris. They're going to need pitching at the trade deadline, probably starting pitching.
Not something you thought you would have needed.
You thought you needed that, but because of the injuries,
you have to see how Ill comes back, though.
Yeah, when he comes back. Yeah, you got to see how he comes back.
Right, when?
When?
It may not be August. And if
it may not be.
And if it gets to that point, July, August, and he's still not ready, now you have to look at where you are.
Yeah.
In the season. I mean, where you are in the standings. I mean, is it even worth putting this guy back out there?
You're right. Putting him out there. You're right. I don't know. It may not be. Maybe you shelve him for the year. I don't know.
So now with the Red Sox, okay, Mark, I got to get this off my chest. Okay.
Go ahead.
This Tristan Cassas. Okay.
You're all over the head.
Because he's a clown. He's a freaking clown. I mean, just hearing him talk, I want to slap him. You know what I mean? I mean, like a little kid. Shut your damn mouth. This kid talks as if he's been playing for 14 years. I never heard Jeter talk this much. Like this guy's doing. Like he's been playing for 14 years. He's got a lifetime average of 320, and this is how this kid talks. And now we talked about him in the offseason. Well, not the offseason, but in spring training when he had a lot to say about Devers, and Devers is our third baseman, and he thinks Bregman should play second base, right? And Campbell.
By the way, Cassas is batting as of today, Chris, 160.
And that's what I was 165, was it?
Something like that. Well, today he's 0 for 2. So going into his next at bat, if the game is still going on, he's down to 160.
Yeah. And then he talked about Campbell. I don't think he's ready yet. What do you mean you don't think? How many years? I don't have the number. How long has Cassas been playing in the major leagues? couple of years.
Maybe a couple of years. It's all just a couple of years.
He doesn't think he's ready. He doesn't think he's ready.
Who the hell is he?
He's got the best average on it. Well, yeah, with the amount of at-bats,
Yeah,
he's got the
who
best
hell
average
is
on
he,
the three.
Cassas?
Yeah, Campbell's batting 300, Mark.
Yeah.
He's at 80 at-bats. He's got 12 runs. He's got 24 hits. He's got, how many home runs has he got? I mean, not a lot. He's got 3 home runs. He's got 8 RBIs. Like, this kid Campbell's playing fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear
Your
Cassas
buddy
anymore.
Devers is batting 202 right now.
I know. He's what do you mean he's my buddy? Yeah, 202. So I mean they got issues. I mean Bregman's at 96 at bat. He's batting 300. So it's not horrible. But they're having problems. They're having problems.
But they're having problems defensively, and they're having problems hitting too, Chris.
So when you look at this situation, because to me,
their pitching staff is, they got Crochet, right? And that's fine. He's an ace. But other than Crochet, and Hulk has had a decent outing last outing, but he hasn't pitched well. They got to get Bello back. He's been out. Maybe he'll start to get, he's capable of winning 14, 15 games for you. But their pitching hasn't been good either.
No. And as far as that trade, listen, Crochet being here he's
a stud. They stole him.
But what's interesting, though, is who they gave up, right? So they gave up prospect. I can't remember his damn name, but he's playing well. He's playing really well for the AAA or whatever it is over there, and still as a good prospect, right? But the thing about it is, the interesting thing is, I'm wondering if you put Cassas in that deal. Should you have done that, Mark?
I would have. Yeah, I probably would have did it. I think, Chris, if he continues to hit like this, you could see Cassas going a trade deadline move. If the Patriots, I got the Patriots on the brain. If the Red Sox are in the running, Chris, for a playoff spot, you could see Cassas go at the trade deadline for some starting pitching or a real bona fide closer. You know what I mean? Because they still don't have a bona fide real closer.
Yeah, and so where I was going with it, my mic had an issue. So where I was going to is, because Anthony, it's time to bring these guys up, bring Anthony up. Cassas, my point is, deal him. At some point, you got to deal this guy if he's worth anything.
And like I said, Chris, it could happen during the trade deadline, depending on where you are at that point and depending on what you need.
I just,
what it is, a little bit.
I can't stand listening to Cassas anymore. I just can't. He's just a tool bag.
Yeah, he is.
He really is. He walks around and in his first.
What has he ever done?
His first game, if you remember his first game, he was sunning himself out in the field and the shirt off before the game to get himself. I don't like guys like this. I don't like guys like this. Is the kind of guy that if he played basketball, he'd be rolling around on the ground too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he would
with
be.
the injury.
He knew. Absolutely would be. Absolutely.
But he knew it all. He knew Bregman should be playing second over Campbell. Campbell's not ready. He knew that,
he's the general manager. He's the general manager.
But Mark, what's it all go back to? What's it all go back to with these clowns?
It all goes back to Cora.
Absolutely. And your rant. Your rant last week.
All goes back to Cora. Listen, last night, I'm flipping around channels. I put an inning of the Red Sox on. Oh my God! Have you ever listened to those guys do a game? Those guys on Nesson. Oh my God!
It's putrid.
Oh my God! Is that awful? That broadcast is awful.
And sometimes they'll go to break before they just kind of go to commercial. There's no, I don't know, Joe.
It's bad.
If Joe watch that, the production value of that, you have to watch it. You throw up in your mouth.
Oh yeah, if you watch the production value of that, I don't know what they're doing over there, but it's off. It's awful.
No, it's a clown show, and it's hard to get there. They got their app that you could try to get the games on, but then there's issues always with the damn app. Everybody's always bitching and complaining about it. Thank God I'm a Yankee fan.
Yeah, they're not. They're not.
Where you get to watch no games at all.
No. Oh, hey, listen. I pay for that package for them.
Yeah,
it's funny. I listen
to that too.
I tell you, I listen to the guys like Felger and them bitch and complain about how you get all these games. You get these packages. Hey, you make plenty of money. Buy the packages. It's the little guy out there that has the issue. It's us. It's the real deal New England field people. That's who, the nation. Nobody can afford that. They can afford it. Stop bitching about it, you know? But yeah, it's a bad broadcast. So we'll see what happens with these two teams. It's still early on. But
the
I
American League in general, Chris, doesn't look
No.
strong. The whole American League, to be honest.
It's just everything's starting slow.
Yeah.
It just seems like that. Like everything's starting slow. Like I like the way I watch Arizona. I think they look ahead.
You
ahead
got
of
them, the Dodgers, San Diego. Those teams look ahead. You're right.
They look ahead, and meanwhile, the American League looks flat. So we'll see if they could take it. These teams can take advantage of that being flat. But Yankees versus Red Sox was presented by Corso Law Group, CorsoLawGroup.com. Hey, we come back. Mark, you ready? Buckle up.
I'm ready. I'm
Todd's
ready,
comment
baby.
Is next.
No one ever thinks they will be in need of a criminal or traffic lawyer, but things happen. Corso Law Group is Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm. Call or go online to CorsoLawGroup.com and talk with these expert attorneys who I know will help.
Time for Catone's comment!
Okay, so last week was Easter for those of you who do celebrate that. And so I had to, of course, go to a couple of stores on Saturday. They did it to me again, Joe.
Here we go.
Joe, they sent me out. So now I get out there and I go to a couple of stores. So, of course, it's busy. I'm in a big parking lot. It's busy. So I'm driving around. I'm looking for a parking space. Now, nothing drives me crazier. Okay, nothing drives me crazier. You pull around a corner. Oh, there's a spot. I can park over there. And there's a car parked in 2 spaces.
Ugh.
Why the hell are you parking in 2 spaces? Who the hell are you? Do you have that big of an ego that you're going to take up 2 spaces in your GMC Gremlin? You're driving a Gremlin, a Ford Pinto, and you're in 2 spots with a Gremlin. Like, what are you kidding me? Who the hell are you to park that car in 2 spots? I don't understand the ignorance of these people. Why are you, like, listen, if you have a Ferrari, okay, fine. Like, you see these real expensive cars, they're parked way away from everybody. And maybe they take up 2 spots, but that's okay because they're not really bothering anybody because they're way away from all the other cars. Maybe they take up 2 spots. They don't want anybody next to their car. They don't want anybody to hit it with a door handle because you got all these ignorant people who swing their car doors open and they bang your door when they open their door. But that's a whole nother rant and a whole nother issue that I can't even get into. But the people that park in these 2 damn spots, inevitably, it's always a piece of junk car. It's junk. So what are you parking in 2 spots for? I don't know. These people, they're so ignorant. These have got to be the same goddamn people that go to the bathroom and steal the toilet paper. They take the toilet paper home. So when you go in the bathroom, there's nothing to wipe your hands, nothing. They take the towels, everything. They got to be ignorant. These are the people. They go open the door, they cough all over their hands, and they open the door so that they want to pass the plague. You end up with the plague instead of coughing in their arm. It's got to be the same type of people. It's got to be the same type of people who do that stuff that are double parking in these spots, that are taking up these parking spots. Because I don't know who would do that. I just don't get why you would do that. There's no. I tried to understand. I'm trying to think about it, and I'm saying, but there's no logical reason why you pull in with a car that is a piece of junk. You're taking up 2 spots. Even if it's a decent car, who cares? I don't care. Even if it's why? What is the point of taking up the 2 spots? I don't understand that. Like, do you think that much of yourself that you're somebody special? You're going to take up 2 spots so the poor common person like me can't find a parking spot? What? It's very aggravating. It's frustrating when you go in, and this isn't just once in a while. This is all the time. You see these cars that are parked in, like they're taking up 2 parking spaces, and they think it's okay. I'm dying one of these days that slice the tires, scratch the trunk, piss in the gas tank. So when they come out, the car's a mess. That's what I want to do. I want to pee in the gas tank, slice the tires, and scratch the door. That's what I want to do. One time. Just one time.
The views of Catone's comments.
I know I can't. I know I
the views
can't.
of
I know I can't.
Corso and Catone, the LLC, the New England. Joe, what's the piss in the gas tank now?
Yes,
oh my God!
I think you could put sugar. Isn't it sugar that you would put in there?
Sugar? Is that what it is? It's
Not to
sugar.
give anybody ideas. What the hell? They're doing that all over the damn country. Somebody dented my damn Tesla.
Oh yeah. Well, you got a Tesla. You gotta be careful where you go.
Yeah, that's it now.
Yeah.
You know,
You
can't
got a
have it
problem.
where you guys are. Forget it.
No.
They'll set it on fire, for Christ almighty. You know?
No.
I don't get it. 2 years ago, I was a jerk if I didn't have one. Now I'm a jerk that I have one.
Now
I'm
you're
just a jerk. Why does the card determine what I am? I'm a jerk. Period. End of story. That's it. What the nonsensical thing is, in my opinion, in this whole thing, what's more nonsensical is the fact that you continue to leave your home
Continually.
Well, I had to this time. I had no choice, Chris.
You always have a choice. There's always a choice.
There's always a choice.
We're not gonna,
A lot of online jobs now, too. Those carry over from a few years ago. Can't you like work, remotely, never leave?
What's even more amazing is that parking spots have generally not changed in size since
but the vehicles,
50s.
but the vehicles have, Joe.
The
right?
vehicles have. They've gotten smaller. The majority. They've gotten smaller. They're not
Seinfeld.
57 Cadillac,
Yeah.
They keep inventing new cars, but they don't get new.
But
new
they
But
can't
the
fit in the
parking
spot.
spots weren't built for these big Escalades and all these vehicles, Joe.
First of all,
Crazy.
I think it's the fact that you said Gremlin and Pinto is
I was waiting.
Because-
for that comment.
because if you actually see a Pinto parked in a space, just hit it. Just rear end it and the thing explodes. Wasn't that the thing with the Pintos? Didn't our aunt have one of those?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that color green was.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. But so I agree with you. For every car. See out here, you get a lot of these Maseratis, Ferraris, Lamborghinis.
right.
They're everywhere. You got everything out here. I disagree with it for any vehicle. I don't give a shit what you're driving. You don't need two spaces. If you're that concerned, about your vehicle getting dinged and nudged and all this other stuff, don't buy it. Okay? And leave it in the goddamn garage. It's an automobile. You buy it to drive it. You don't buy it to park it in two spaces so everybody could say, ooh, look at the important person with Ferrari, you goof. You probably got 4 mortgages on your house over there in order to buy the stupid thing. And now what? You're going to put it in 3 or 4 spaces? I'd hit it. If it were me and I see a car like that parked in 2 spaces, okay, I'm going to park this close to wherever the driver's side door is. I'm going to angle my car in a way where I'm like, and for those of you on the radio, I'm moving my hands about 1/4 of an inch apart. That's how I'm going to park right there with my 1978 Pinto or what the hell was the car that we had to crawl? Joe, what was the car we had to crawl through the windows to get in?
Was it a Chevette?
No, it was
Chevy Chevette?
No. Anyway, but
it started with a screwdriver.
Got to start with a screwdriver, and none of the doors worked. Like one,
What?
the back,
the
right,
Omni,
the Omni,
the
the Dodge
Omni,
2-tone. It was like maroon and gray,
and not just gray, like just metal,
battleship gray,
metal gray.
And then the rear back passenger door was the only door that opened. So you had to crawl through the windows and like the Dukes of Hazzard, you had to crawl into the windows. Yeah. That pisses me off too, Mark. It does. I don't know why people
But I don't have a problem, Chris, if they park, if they got one of those vehicles and they want to park far away, like not taking up spots.
Yeah, but
where
one
people
spot.
where people are really trying to park. Like if you're way out in the distance and you're not really bothering anybody because you're not really taking up a spot because you're so far away, no one's gonna park there anyways. Okay, fine. You want to be that guy, fine, or that girl, fine, whatever. But not when you're actually parking where cars are all parking and you want to take up 2 spots. I mean, what are you kidding me? Really?
They should just get a handicap plate. I mean, by right, they sort of are by doing that kind of stuff. We'll get the plate that coincides. Yeah, I have no tolerance for that stupidity. Somebody flipped me off today, by the way.
Hey.
Why?
Because you want me to start on this now? So I had to get here to do this.
You must have did something that they flipped you off.
Because they're rat bastard son of a bitches out there. That's why.
Well, I guarantee
I don't
neither
do
one
anything
of you
wrong driving.
Neither one of you probably passed the Catone's driving.
He wrote the manual. He can't even pass the test.
I can't pass that. Then you came on with that stupid test that day. You made up questions. You were making stuff up that day, Joe.
We did that. We have to do when it gets to be summer. We got some time. We have to do that again. I came out because Mark kept bitching about people driving, and we said we got to come out with Catone's driving school. And I came to the show with a series of questions that are actually on the driving test. And he got them all wrong.
Got them all wrong. Every one of them.
So that's definitely a class we want to sign up for. Yeah, listen. And by the way, what is the story? Joe, what was he talking about with the public restrooms? What? We going down that road again?
They're probably those types of people.
Yeah.
Well, I don't use public restrooms to stop.
Well, I don't either.
I can't.
You can't go in those places.
Let alone one on a plane.
Well, what do you do on a plane if you're on a flight across the country? What
Tough it out. You get Mazzulla over there to yell at you to get up. Get up, Rock.
Hold it in, Rock.
Just tough it out, man. Mind over matter, right? So you go beforehand. You plan for these things. Actually, the best order of business. Mark, you shouldn't leave your house.
We tried.
I just don't know why he keeps doing it. No, he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to. What did you? I missed the beginning part. Why did you have to go out again?
Well, because Easter was the next day, and of course they forgot They forgot some ingredients for. They were making the pizza game, the pie, the cold cut pie, right? Right, and of course they sent little Jimmy, the paper boy out. He had to go get a few things to make the pie because they forgot it.
You got kids there. They're old. Go let them send them to the store.
problem was they weren't home yet because they didn't come home until Sunday. Well, my daughter was home. My son didn't get home until he came in Sunday morning for Easter. And so, of course, they sent me. Why not send me?
Are you all getting this out there? In Corso Catone land? Yeah, well, Mark, I can't continue to keep saying this, so I guess we're just
I won't even get into the fact that this $500 mixer that they got for the dough broke. The motor broke. That they were on Saturday. We're making the pie Saturday morning. She starts it up. This thing's $550, $600. I don't know what she paid for this goddamn thing. Right? Dies. So she goes and buy another one.
Why? Tell her. What do you think her grandmother did? You think they had a mixer? Get the rolling pin out and get going. What the hell? I never heard of such a thing.
That's what she
need
did.
A mixer now?
Listen, she had to go back. She had to use the rolling pin. She went back to old school. But they get this fancy KitchenAid, kitchen something, kitchen ads. I don't know what they're called, right? I don't know what they're called.
Put some elbow grease into it. Come on, roll that thing out. Don't send him to the store. What the hell does he know?
They're called bakeries.
Bakeries. There you go.
Go there.
Well, you know what? But you can't get those in the bakery.
No, you can't.
The pizza game you can't get or whatever. Well, some people call it what? Pizza Rusica.
Well, we completely have gone off the rails completely.
Happy Saturday.
No, we've gone way off the rails.
We are a sports show, but we do handle it all. And when he has meltdowns like this, we're doing a public service to let him air it out on here, or else you all have to deal with it out there. And we don't want that happening. So good stuff. I agree with you 1,000%. Catone's comments was presented by the Pats Nation Sundays, 8 a.m. Eastern. Hey, tune in tomorrow. Mark and I are going to have our mock draft as the Patriots are sitting there picking, we're going to have the picks for you. And when you hear it, you're going to know if we were right. So make sure you're commenting and let us know. But when we come back, going to go a little Pats preview and talk about the things we heard leading up to the draft. No flipping.
Sundays are for football. And here in New England, that means it's the Pats Nation with Corso and Catone.
You have the worst wide receiver room in the National Football League.
This is why the Patriots need us in the draft room. Let's see what the Pats Nation thinks about that, Mark.
Starting June 30th, Sundays, 8 to 9 a.m. on 790 The Score.
Back in with more Corso and Catone, the real deal, New England feel. Okay, Mark, heard a lot of stuff this week that irritated the living crap out of us. Now, as I said, recording on Wednesday, draft, when you're watching this, the draft will have happened, or at least the first 3 rounds will have happened. They'll be somewhere in the 4th round, 5th round.
Somewhere in the 4th, 5th round,
when we air.
Yeah.
But talking about that number 4 pick, God, the stuff that we were hearing about this week about this Campbell, drafting Campbell at tackle. And we heard from some guy. We heard from Todd McShay with ESPN. We heard from Greg Bedard of the Boston Sports Journal. And when Joe's set up and ready, we want to hear from Todd McShay. Joe, whenever you're ready, my friend.
Having in the league is that these offensive tackles do not belong. New England needs an offensive tackle desperately. And I talk to people, right? Desperately. And they're like, and here's one of the conversations I had. I thought it was fascinating. If you draft Campbell, yes, I promise you're getting a leader on that team. You're getting the alpha dog in that room. You're getting a guy who's standing up in front of Drake Maye and he's going to lay his life on the line. And you'll love that. You get a guy who moves really well on his feet, and I promise you he'll be a great guard. And he might, if things go well, he'll be a solid starting left tackle. The problem is, Todd, and this is what I heard, the problem is, Todd.
Third person.
It's the 4th pick.
Right. First person.
And we've got some dudes on the board.
What the hell happened to that guy anyway?
Who?
Todd McShay.
Yeah,
he's out there, huh?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's Todd McShay from ESPN talking this week about the 4th pick, which will have already happened. Now, Mark, we've been hearing this settling, this settle for it, this talk of just, they're in desperate need of a left tackle. So we're going to draft a guy that's going to be a great guard.
That solves the problem.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, it solves the problem. That's a smart pick. That's a good pick.
So when you
when
you ask the question, okay, we're going to hear from Bedard in a second. When you ask the question, okay, do we want to draft for need or best available, right?
Yep.
You did neither. No. If they took this kid.
If you take this kid at 4, you're right. You've done neither. Like the pick makes no sense. No sense.
You drafted a guy.
When you have 25 years of data that tells you no one with his measurables has become an all-pro at left tackle in over 25 years. When you have that much data to go by, how are you taking this kid? He's going to defy the odds? He's going to be the one guy in the last 25 years that defies the odds. He's that good. I got news for you. Go look at his tape. Watch his tape from this year. His tape from this year, Chris, is not that impressive. He was more impressive the previous year.
He gets beat on the inside. A lot of the times he looked bad. It was against SEC teams, which we talk about. Now we said this kid went to LSU. And so you hear everybody talk about, well, look, he played in the SEC and he played all 4 years or however many years he played at tackle. So, yeah, he did. But that wasn't without issue.
No.
It wasn't without him having his issues there. And so then we hear from Greg Bedard of the Boston Sports Journal a couple of times, and this is what he said.
I think he's going to have trouble with speed rushers on the edge. That's where he ran into issues in college.
So what's
And
gonna happen in the NFL?
to me,
What's the
he
NFL?
is a guard, possible All-Pro. Like I've said before, I see him a lot like Joe Tooney, but probably with more of a nastier physical edge than Joe Tooney, who is more of a technician, and which I think Will Campbell is as well. But I think that Will's got a little bit more. Stuff to him, where a little bit more of an edge. And so, I see Campbell as a guard, but I think he's the type of guy that, like Tooney, like we saw this year, until his arms, which are shorter than Will Campbell's, finally he met a mismatch in the Super Bowl. But I think Campbell is going to be one of those guys like a Tooney that can get you by at left tackle until you maybe have an opportunity to address it a little bit more.
Yeah, I always like
fourth pick in the draft on that.
Yeah, I always like a guy. That's my I have 3 types of grades for top 10 picks. Okay. It's the, who can be a Pro Bowl guy, who's the best guy that the position we need. And then the third category is who can get me by until I'm going to pick for real. Until I'm going to get the position for real. For real. This isn't for real. This is fake. We're just picking somebody today at 4 just to get us by until we pick the real pick maybe next year.
Wow.
Right? I mean,
think about how insane that is.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Nobody sees anything wrong with what he's saying.
And
I don't think anybody's even calling him out on it, Chris. And I respect him. Listen, I respect Bedard a hell of a lot. I think he's a good guy. He's a smart guy. But when it comes to this Campbell, I don't know what the hell where he's getting, what he's talking about.
Yeah, and what he continues to talk about, Joe.
That's my read. That he's just exactly the type of player that they want, and they don't really. Not really. They don't have one single person on that offensive line in that room that I would say is 100% solid Mike Vrabel type of guy. Campbell, whether he makes it a tackle or not, and kicks inside the left guard, and he's the next like Logan Mankins for the Patriots, which I don't think he'll be, but he might come close to that, which is fine. Foundational piece on the offensive line that's sort of going to be the straw that stirs the drink in that room for years to come, I think would be a priority for Mike Vrabel.
Love to be whatever straw is in the drink he's drinking right now.
What the hell is he talking about? He's not even going to be Logan Mankins?
Which is fine, he said. Which is fine. Yeah, that's fine in the 3rd round.
Yes. Listen. Yes. Listen. I just don't understand, Chris, what these guys are talking about. Like yesterday, you and I were talking a couple of days ago. We were talking on the phone. I know it would have been like 3:00 in the morning. I called you my time. I think it was like 3:00. Yeah. But anyways, so I was talking to you, Chris, when we heard some of this stuff being said, and I said, but Washington did that last year, Chris. They got a stopgap guy, but to your point, he was a 3rd round guy. They put him in at left tackle. He did great for the year. He was a stopgap guy. What do they do in the offseason? They go and trade for Tunsil, and now they shift this kid over to guard, Chris. But he was a 3rd down draft pick. That's okay taking a guy in the 3rd round. That's all right. You can do that with a 3rd round guy. I know you like the kid from Boston College maybe in the 3rd round. You want to do that with him? Fine. You want to use him at left tackle, then kick him the right tackle in a couple of years because now you got your left tackle. Great. You
or
can
leave
do that
him
with
there
him.
if he
Or
performs.
leave him there. But you don't do that with the 4th pick in the draft.
Not when you have guys. Not when you have dudes like Jalen Walker out of Georgia, who's going to be a Pro Bowler. Not when you guys have potential Pro Bowl tight ends like Warren, maybe. Okay. Not when you have a guy like Genty that many consider, I wouldn't take him, but many consider that he'll be Chris, a possible Pro Bowler. Mason Graham.
Walker, Chris, you're going to play Josh Allen twice a year. To do anything in the playoffs, you're going to have to play Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes. Walker's shot out of a cannon. How do you want to talk about shadowing a quarterback? He's the perfect guy to do that. So like you're going to take Campbell over him?
But the point is, I mean, the bigger point is, I hear these guys, and then I heard some other guys talking about that. What you're saying is, okay, he's basically a stop, but we're going to get a seat filler at the 4 pick. We're going to get a seat filler for when we get our stud tackle. These are the actual words, not seat filler, but they say a guy that will get you by and do better than low. He's better than anything you have on the roster. See, this is the problem. This is the measure. He's better than everything you have on the roster. So he's a guy that can play left tackle and get you by until you get your stud left tackle. And then you move him into guard. And now you got a fantastic offensive line. Maybe he's Logan Mankins. Maybe he's not. Are you kidding me right now? How about this? Instead of doing that, why don't you get your real good coaching staff like Marone and Scarnecchia, okay? I have to believe that Lowe will play better. You know, I love these guys that say, oh, he sucks, he's horrible, he's terrible, he sucks. But they give you nothing else. They don't give you any other words, just that he sucks. They don't know what they're looking at. That's why they're saying it like that. He was the worst tackle in the league.
Your coaching staff sucked last year.
Yeah, your coaching staff sucked. Your scheme sucked. You didn't put these guys in a position to succeed at all, okay? And you moved them all around all season long. So why don't you try coaching some of these guys up like a Wallace, guys like that? Maybe Wallace can be a seat filler until you get your stud. I don't know. Maybe you can go find a guy to trade for. Maybe you can find a guy on a scrap heap that's older that you can bring in.
Maybe you can trade for the kid Miller from the Raiders, Chris. Put him in there for a couple of years.
So, like, there's a lot of guys that you can put in that seat filler role until you get your stud. But you're conceding the fourth. You're not even saying, look, he's a left tackle. He's the left tackle that's there. We need a left tackle, so we're drafting for need. You're not even drafting for need anymore. You're drafting for nothing. You're drafting for I don't know what. So if you're that much of a need guy, Mark, and you're like, hey, we need a left tackle. What does McShay said? Desperately. Okay. Then go draft Banks at 4.
And you know what, Chris? Chris, I'd be okay with that. At least he's a starting left. No, I'm not, but I'd be okay with that instead of Campbell, only because at least he's been a left tackle his whole career, Chris, in college.
Right. I mean, that feels nothing that you need. It doesn't do anything. You don't need a guard, so don't draft one.
You don't need a guard.
Jalen Walker.
That would be my pick at 4. Unless somebody wants to give you a real nice package to come up and take Janty, then Ashton Janty, then that's fine too. I would do that and trade down a little bit. But
I don't, so we don't know what they did yet.
We don't know what they did.
You don't know what they did, but if they took Campbell, it's the first fall on your face moment for Mike Vrabel. And let me tell you, I lose a lot of respect for that guy if he goes ahead and drafts this kid at 4. Trade out and do it? Maybe. But to take this kid at 4 with those guys on the board like that, where difference makers are on the board, 10-year starters are on the board, guys that will hold out if you don't pay them kind of guys are on the board. This is not one of those guys.
No.
You give me like starting guard that wants to hold out. We got rid of those guys, remember? Tooney and Mason.
Yeah, no. That's not. This isn't one of those guys. No. Nope.
And Belichick let those guys go.
Yeah.
This is disgusting. This is the kind of disgusting.
Listen, you're gonna be pretty angry if they take Campbell in the 4th round. With the 4th pick, I mean. They take him with the 4th pick, you're gonna be pretty angry.
So will you.
Oh, of course I will be.
Because
listen, I don't think I can get any angrier than I did. There's been some drafts over the last 3 years. I've lost my ever-loving mind. I don't even know if I can get that upset anymore. I don't even know. Well, maybe I could. I'll tell you what, if they don't take Ibuka, if he's there at 38 and they don't take him, I'm shutting the draft off. Don't call me. Don't even text me. I'm shutting the draft off, and I'm going to drink a pitcher of old fashions. I'm done.
Ladies and gentlemen, he means it. He absolutely means it. I do not put it past him. So you guys will all let us know if we were wrong and everything we're saying now. But Corso and Catone was presented by the Pats Nation. Sundays, 8 a.m. Eastern, 8 tomorrow. We're going to have our mock draft, what we're going to do with some of these existing players and some of the things we heard. Talk a little bit more about this too. And come back next weekend, noon Eastern. Hey, we're going to have our complete draft breakdown in detail and all. It'll be a lot of emotion going on there. Laughing, crying, throwing things. So make sure you're tuning into that. Anything you bring to the table, we will be ready. We are Corso and Catone, the real deal, New England feel. Hey, enjoy the draft.
Now find Corso and Catone on AM 790, The Score, iHeartRadio, iTunes, wherever you podcast. Or subscribe to the YouTube channel and catch the chaos every Saturday at noon.